what was the first time? Like, did you see a dead person in your room? Like, did you see a ghost? Like, did you always have this gift?
Yeah, my mediumship sort of happened in a couple of different phases in my life. Not understanding until I was older and being able to reflect back to my childhood, I had to actually put it all together to make it really make sense. But when I was a child, going to sleep every single night, having a group of what I now know of spirits standing at the foot of my bed, the same group, night after night. And I always assumed I shared a bedroom with my sister, and I assumed the part of the bed closest to the door, going back into that space, I can now understand I was always looking for an exit. And as soon as the lights would go out in my bedroom, the street light would shine in. I lived in Queens, New York, with like more of city-like type of living.
So my wife is from Queens, by the way.
Queens, right? So there would always be this street light shining in my bedroom, so my bedroom was never really completely dark.
Right.
And the light would really shine onto these spirits and illuminate them. And as a child, I want to say I was as young as 5.
Wow.
And then when I moved out of there when I was 9, they followed me.
Oh my God.
But the ironic part about this is my sister, whom I shared a bedroom with, never saw them. And I would try to keep her awake for as long as I can at night with excuses, asking her to teach me the alphabet, just coming up with silly reasons for her not to fall asleep.
Right.
And she would always fall asleep. And then there was this revelation that one night we were visiting my aunt in Long Island, which I thought was in God's country, really, but it was a 40-minute ride. And coming home late one evening, I wouldn't go into my room because I knew what would be waiting for me. And my dad, it was a usual routine. Every night he would come in the room, check under the bed, open up the closet just to appease me. Dad, there's someone there. So, a little girl trusts her father for safety and protection. So that night, my father must have gotten distracted, and I was waiting for him to come in the room to make sure everything was good, and he never came, and I couldn't sleep. So I was calling for my dad, and he said, "I'm already in bed. Please go to sleep." And then I was shocked because my sister piped in and said, "Dad, you have to come and check." So I looked at her and I said, "But you told me you don't see them." And she said, "No, but I feel them."
Wow.
Oh my God.
So I felt so validated in that moment, but then life just continued. I kept it to myself, never really discussed it with my friends at school. I felt them following me to school. We walked to school in Queens, and this was just like my little secret. And I thought maybe I was crazy, but my father never really made me feel like I was crazy, and neither did my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward into my teens, it went away.
Really?
I had a normal teenage life.
Mm-hmm.
Dating, hanging out with my friends, no ghosts at the foot of my bed. But again, looking back, I did sleep in the bed in an unusual position. And I only recently realized why. I would always sleep with my head facing the door.
Okay.
Feeling more safe. I can't explain it. And recently I did that. And it brought me back to my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard in my head, you always wanted to see what was coming at you.
Sure.
So it was a subconscious thing.
Right.
Did you ever figure out who those spirits were?
I think so. Although not really having a name for them, when I was looking through my dad's family photo albums, and dad's from Europe, from Italy, actually, I was actually seeing similar people dressed similarly. And the only thing I could think of was one of two things. They were either immigrants that were connected to my dad, and my dad actually had a very big hand in building that house on a vacant piece of land.
Wow.
Or they were connected to the land. But I think either way, they were immigrants that came from the Depression era.
Mm-hmm.
Although they never spoke, they were dressed a certain way with the black dresses. The women had black dress, black hats, and the men looked gaunt and too thin,
Interesting.
almost like they were hungry, and very depressed looking. Just stared right through my body.
So you don't know why they were there?
I think it was because they knew I could see them.